welcome back to another video. I want to talk about the books and the movies that I'm the most excited for going into 2026. There's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. I want to show you guys a little bit more of like my taste in books and movies too. So I thought we would just talk about like what's coming up. We got to prepare, We live busy lives. We got to think about these things in advance. So I keep a list of all of the books that I want to read. Let's start from the bottom. The first book, let me grab it. Also, I have white on my lips. I'm drinking yogurt. I bought this book. It was, I was just perusing a Waterstones. Like, this is the perfect book for me because it's essentially the writer's journeys that shaped our world. So it's about different trips that various very famous writers partook in, how that inspired various literary works of theirs. And this was a great book, super interesting. Let's see if I can open it for you and kind of show you. So it gives you like a story about like how the different literary work was like inspired by a different trip they took. So this is Baldwin's trip in Paris, and then it gives you like photos, and then it even like gives you of like the different like where they like went and like the different routes they took. They had Christopher Auden and W.H. Isherwood. They had a description about a journey that they had taken that I found really interesting. They did a war tour. They went to China. They boarded the boat train to Dover January 19th, 1938. There's a war happening in China, and they documented their experience kind of going around China during this time. And the book is called Journey to War. And I remember reading it in the writer's journeys that shaped our world and being like, that sounds so interesting. It was like a very haunting experience. It changed them. It really shaped their lives. Abundance by Ezra Klein. So I really like Ezra Klein's YouTube stuff. He is I don't know if he's the editor-in-chief. He's in some very senior position, I believe, at the New York Times. And he has like a really great leftist online presence. He does really thorough reporting. I feel like he does like independent thinking, which is such a like kind of cringy way to put it, but like I do think that he really does think thoroughly about things outside of his ideology. Like he really tries to be as like logical and pragmatic as possible. I love his videos. I'm a big nonfiction reader. I tend to read nonfiction, but I'm reading more fiction. You'll see as the list progresses, I am definitely reading more fiction. He's essentially discussing why is it so unlivable in the United States? Like why is housing so expensive? Like why? He's not just like, he's asking like why? Like why is it like genuinely why? He really gets down to brass tacks of like breaking down the systems, breaking down legislation, breaking down how things work. This is a book that is critical of the left, but I think in a way that is important because like as leftists, we want to get things done. We want people to be able to live better lives, live more equitably. And I think I keep on mentioning Ezra. This is a co-write with Derek Thompson as well, but I'm just like more familiar with Ezra's work. I've never read a novel from Ezra Klein, and I'm just really curious to hear what he has to say on abundance. I've watched a lot of interviews of Ezra Klein talking about this book, so in a weird way I do feel like I've read this book, but I haven't. It was a polarizing book in the leftist communities. A lot of various leftist figures, politicians, other journalists, etc., they really disagreed with what he had to say, and I think that that's important in journalism. Like you don't want to go with the grain. You want to have independent thought, and you want to write something that people are going to push back against. I think that pushback is like really normal and really healthy and really important, especially in a democracy, in a working democracy. Like you want to do the research, express your opinion based off of the research that you did, and have people talk about why they disagree with you. And Ezra Klein welcomed that criticism. I think that that's really great. The next two books coming up are kind of listicle-y books, so I'll do them at the same time. But The Madman's Library, The Greatest Curiosities of Literature. I just came across this on the internet. I thought it sounded like really interesting. I think it's all about sort of strange books of history, like rare or strange books or ideas. And I thought it sounded really cool. I don't know. I was really interested in it. And then the other one is a book from a YouTuber, actually. Another YouTuber, Great Art Explained. I love his videos. I really love his videos. He essentially just does videos explaining. The title tells you everything you need to know. He does videos explaining great art, and ways that are very like bite-sized, super accessible. If you're interested in art, if you're interested in learning more about art, or like the stories that go behind like super famous paintings, his channel is really great. I love his channel. I I have discovered paintings that I really love through his channel, and he wrote a book. He's, from what I can tell, he's essentially just doing what he does on his channel in book form. So that is on my list. So show. The next books that are coming up, I don't actually know a ton about. These were all recommendations for me. These weren't books that I sought out and then put on my list, like the ones prior that were recommended for me by other people. All Four is Miranda July. This book appears over and over and over and over and over again on people's lists, on people's favorite lists. It was also recommended to me by a good friend of mine. It was just interesting because I'm seeing on Amazon it's only got 3.5 stars. Jack Edwards, who's a YouTube creator that I really like, he loves this book. I know nothing about the plot. I know nothing about the story. All I know is that like people that I like, people that I respect, keep saying it's great. So I'm gonna give it a shot. It's on my for reading list. Boy Parts by Eliza Clark, and we've got Rachel Yoder, Night Bitch. These were two books that were recommended to me by my good friend. Riley recommended these books to me, and so I love Riley and I respect her opinion. So these books immediately went on my wish list. Do I know anything about these plots? Nope. I don't know a clue. I don't know a thing, but it was recommended to me by someone I really like, so I'm gonna read them. And sometimes I like to go into books completely blind. I do that pretty often, actually. I just go into it and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm reading, but I'm reading it. All About Love. People are probably gonna be like, how have you not read All About Love by Bell Hooks? I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. I do know why I haven't read All About Love. Can I be honest with you guys? This book has been recommended to me by too many men. Whenever too many men recommend a book to me, it's a red flag. 1 or 2 men is fine. But when we get up to like 5, 6, 7 men have said, you gotta read this, I get skeptical. I'm a woman, I'm a lady, I'm a girl, I'm a girly. What can I say? When the girlies recommend me a book, I'm like, okay, this is where the heat is. This is where the heat is. But when a man, I'm like, The same friend that I just told you guys about was a great friend of mine. We were in a bookstore together here in London, and she said, have you read All About Love? And I was like, and I told her the reasoning, and she was like, you gotta read it. You gotta read All About Love. It is really, really worth the hype. It's really, really good. And I was like, fine. And I bet you it is really, really, really good. So the next books we have coming up, people recommended it to me because they said it reminded them of my writing. So the first is The Department of Speculation by Jenny Offill, Bluets by Maggie Nelson. Really excited to read those again. Don't really know what they're about, but people were like, your writing style really reminds me of these people. I was like, okay, I'll check them out. Now, Otessa, I don't know how to say her last name. Otessa Moshfegh? Sorry, I butchered that. Otessa, I obviously haven't read Eileen. Eileen is on my reading list. I've actually listened to the audiobook. I've listened to the audiobook of My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I loved that book so much. I was actually just like browsing my Spotify audiobooks, because you get 15, fun fact, if you have premium, you get 15 additional hours of audiobooks every month. Fun fact. So I was looking at my audiobooks. I was trying to see if there's an audiobook I wanted to listen to, and I was on my lunch break at work, and I saw my Year of Rest and Relaxation pop up. Otessa's writing had been compared to my writing, so I was like, oh, okay, like I'll give it a listen. Like, I'm curious. I was literally just planning to listen to like a snippet just to like get the vibe of it. I finished the audiobook that night. 7-hour audiobook, started at my lunch break, finished the audiobook that night. So needless to say, I really like Otessa. I really like her writing. I thought My Year of Rest and Relaxation was crazy. It's bonkers. It's bananas. This book is crazy. But she takes massive swings. The lead character in My Year of Rest and Relaxation is like the most unlikable person on earth, and I was hooked. I was hooked to her story. Anyway, if you want a bonkers ride, like if you're just in for like a crazy ass roller coaster ride, read My Year of Rest and Relaxation, because I know I really like that book. I also want to read Eileen. Eileen, I think, is the book that people really love by Otessa, known for. I'm definitely reading Eileen this year. You gonna die on me again? Friggin' stupid camera. Where was I? I tried to read a book about writing, because I'm a writer. The Art of Subtext was recommended to me by Charles Baxter, so that's on there. I've also got George Saunders, A Swim in a Pond in the Rain. Believe it's a book on form, craftsmanship. I'm not really It was recommended to me. Masterclass. Yeah, it's a version of a class that he used to teach on short stories. Anyone interested in how fiction works and why it's more relevant than ever in these turbulent times. So definitely interested in that. Anne Patchett is another one that is on here. Yeah, I've been wanting to read Anne Patchett's writing for a while now, but I didn't really know where to start. So I was just sort of stalking like forums and things that people were like books that people were recommending. Bel Canto came up many times, so I thought that was a good place to start. It seems to be like a fave of people, so I put Bel Canto on there. Demon Copperhead on here as well. I'm gonna read Demon Copperhead, which was a Pulitzer Prize winner. It's a retelling of David Copperfield, so I will almost certainly, I'm not like a massive Dickens girly, to tell you the truth. I've read A Tale of Two Cities and I liked it, but I've never been a fan of A Christmas Carol. Like, Dickens is one of those classic authors that just kind of never gelled with me, so I'm sort of like but it's one of those ones where like I feel like I should read it. Like, I feel like I should read David Copperfield, and Demon Copperhead is a retelling of that story, so I feel like I really should. But Demon Copperhead was the winner of the Reader's Choice for the 100 best books of the 21st century. So out of all readers surveyed, the number one book was Demon Copperhead, so I feel like I really should read it. And then it was also the Pulitzer Prize winner for fiction in 2023. So The Coin was one that I was really curious about. I think this was another one that Jack Edwards recommended. The Coin's narrator is a wealthy Palestinian woman with impeccable style and meticulous hygiene, and yet the ideal life remains just out of her reach. Her inheritance is inaccessible, her homeland exists only in her memory, and her attempt to thrive in America seems doomed from the start. This is by Yasmin Zahir. Really cool concept for a book. Immigrant story in America. Super highly recommended. Winner of the Dylan Thomas Prize in 2025. Yeah, definitely super curious about this book. I am also almost certainly going to read Flesh soon. Flesh was the winner of this year's Booker Prize. Flesh, it's a story about masculinity. Apparently it's really good. I'm currently reading Orbital, which I'm loving. Alrighty, that's our books. Let's talk about the movies. Movies have been interesting recently. 2023 was such an amazing year for movies. Like, I was giving out 5 stars on Letterboxd like every other movie 2023. Like, it was insane the caliber of movie that came out that year. I think that's like the Barbenheimer summer move, like all those movies were crazy. I feel like it's been a bit slower. 2024 wasn't amazing. 2025 wasn't amazing. So we'll see what 2026 has in store. Most anticipated films of 2026. So let's take a look at what I'm interested in. I'm interested in Hamnet. That's another book I'm interested in. People are raving about Hamnet. Well, here's the thing about Hamnet. I'm very interested in the story. I like the idea of focusing it on the family of Shakespeare. I think that's really interesting. People obviously love the book. I gotta admit something about Chloe Zhao, okay? I didn't see Eternals. Didn't like Nomadland. Wasn't a fan. I didn't like it. I just found it like it was too meandery, and haven't always been a fan of her work. But I know Hamnet is like a super revered novel, so we're gonna definitely see that movie. Very curious. Paul Mescal, love him. Super curious about La Gracia. Wuthering Heights. Listen, people hated Saltburn. Emerald Fennell, her last movie, right? That was her last movie, Saltburn. I kind of liked it. I didn't take it too super seriously. I feel like people took it more seriously than I did, but I was just sort of like, this is weird and fun. Wuthering Heights is an incredibly high esteemed novel, obviously. Emerald Fennell is a weirdo. She's a little weirdo. She's a little freak. I'm curious to see what she does with Wuthering Heights. I've never read the book, so I don't really know much about it. I just know that it is a super beloved novel. I think it's a little creepy, which I think works well for her. I mean, I'm just looking at the still right now of Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and they look fucking great. It's got a score by Charlie XCX. The songs have been coming out. They've been really cool. Speaking of Charlie XCX, she's got her own movie coming out called The Moment with A24. It takes on the music industry as it follows a pop star preparing for a global tour. She's also producing it under her new 365, and the cast includes Kylie Jenner, Rachel Sennott, and Alexander Skarsgård. So crazy all-star cast. I don't think it has an official release date yet, but it is slated for 2026. We have the new Devil Wears Prada movie coming out. That's exciting. I am excited for that sequel. I think that'll be fun. I don't know. Sequels can sometimes just be like, give me money. I want money now. And it is probably that, but like, I don't know, there's something about the conceit of A Devil Wears Prada 2 that I am a little bit interested in. I don't know if they're gonna pick up where they left off. I don't know if they're gonna like run in with like a whole new story. I'm curious. I'm there. Oh, we have Greta Gerwig's Narnia. That's been in talks for like a few years now. This article is saying it's coming back in 2026. I mean, I love Greta Gerwig, so I'm gonna watch whatever she puts out. A video of her smearing her own poop on the walls, and I'd watch that. Okay, maybe I wouldn't watch that, but you know what I mean. Mark Ronson is scoring the project. That's fascinating. The Uptown Funk guy is doing the Narnia movie. Okay, slay. It will be a very new take on Narnia. It's all about rock and roll. What? Huh? Okay. I feel like the last version of the Narnia movies came out when I was a kid. It feels kind of recent. I guess it's not that recent anymore, but it feels like it's recent. But okay, new Narnia movies. Get into it. Got the new Dune with my Canadian brethren. Denis directing again. No. That's my anticipation for Dune is just new Roger Ebers, werewolf or weirwolf, spelt weird. It's got typical Roger Ebers fare, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe. I mean, like, it's the usual suspects. I'm expecting normal Roger Ebers fare. A little freaky deaky, a little weird, a little stupid, a little like kind of creepy regular horror stuff. I like to see Roger Ebers kind of challenge himself, do something a bit more unexpected. I guess he's got a brand now, as he did Nosferatu. He obviously did The Witch, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, The Lighthouse. He did The Lighthouse, so he's got his brand, but I mean, the description here is folklore meets nightmare aesthetic. It's like, yeah, okay, so a Roger Ebers movie. Like, that is literally just a Roger Ebers movie. I don't know, I kind of want to see him push himself a little bit. I'd like to see something a little different. I guess directors don't really do that. They kind of stay in their singers in that way. Like, they don't really like push themselves to like try a new genre. Like, what does a Roger Ebers romantic comedy look like? I don't know. I guess we never will, but I would like to know. I don't know. Do what you're good at, I guess, but it'd be nice. Oh, Toy Story 5, the new Toy Story 5. Yeah, I want to see that. The Toy Story sequels always are really good and really well thought out. I feel like there's been like a sizable amount of time since the last Toy Story movie came out, so they probably had time to like really cook on this plot. So I have high hopes. And we actually have a release date for this one. It's the 19th of June, 2026. So nice little summer release there. I got high expectations. I love the Toy Story movies. I think they are brilliant. I think that they are so well written, clever. They're not just for children. You know, there's something, everyone can relate to something in the Toy Story movies. Really heartfelt, really great. Is that Pete Docter? Did he do the Toy Story movies? Is he the original dude on the toy? Probably. Pete Docter's the fucking goat, dude. I love Pete Docter. New Colleen Hoover movie. Nobody asked, nobody moved, nobody cares. With an exclamation point. The Bride! That's Penelope Cruz and Christian Bale. We love a Christian Bale movie. I love a Christian Bale movie. Wait, that's slated for release? It's been postponed until the 2026. Okay. Inspired by The Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, we got another. Frankenstein's having a moment right now. People are loving the Frankenstein. It stars Christian Bale and Penelope Cruz, a fantastical feature that will explore different sides of the creature that continues to capture our imagination. Okay. I'm interested. And listen, I feel like one of the best parts about movies is there's always movies that come out that you don't expect, that always sort of movies that are going to get the headlines like this of like coming out, or like the Roger Ebers and the Denis and the Wes Andersons and the, you know, the really famous directors are the ones that are going to have, like Greta Gerwig, they're going to have their moment. People are going to talk about their releases. But I feel like for like lesser known directors or like smaller movies, they kind of come out as like the film award circuit happens, the festival circuit happens, and then we kind of really see like, oh, okay, like what's good, like what's actually really good. It's one of the things I really like about the film festival circuit is like the cream always rises to the top. I really like that. Like I feel like that when a movie is good, it really gets its moment, even if it's a smaller director or a smaller budget. I feel like still there is a chance for those sorts of movies to shine. I don't know, maybe that's me being a little bit wishful, but I do still believe in the film festival circuit. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to in 2026. Did I miss anything? Is there anything that should be on my radar? Especially movies. I think there's probably some stuff for movies that I missed. Let me know. I want to know. I want to know what I need to watch. Thanks, Yetis. See you next time. Bye.